We've dealt with for many, many years.
President Trump will end the radical left's reign of terror in Portland once and for all.
You look at Portland and you see fires all over the place. You see fights and, I mean, just violence.
This network of Antifa is just as sophisticated as MS-13, as TDA, as ISIS, as Hezbollah, as Hamas, as all of them. They are just as dangerous. They have an agenda to destroy us, just like the other terrorists we've dealt with for many, many years.
When ICE officers have to street battle against Antifa, hand-to-hand combat every night to come and go from their building.
Slide to the left.
Smishing and a splashing over the horizon, what can it be? The pilgrims sailed the sea to find a place to call their own. In their ship Mayflower, they hope to find a better home. They finally knocked on Plymouth Rock, and someone said, we're there. It may not look like home, but at this point I don't care. Oh, they were missing Mother England. They swore their loyalty until the very end. Anything you say, King, it's okay, King. You know it's kind of scary on your own. Gonna build a new land the way we planned. Could you help us run it till it's grown? They planted corn, you know. They built their houses one by one. And bit by bit they worked until the colonies were done. They looked around, yeah, up and down, and someone said, hooray! If the king could only see us now, he would be proud of us today. They knew that now they'd run their own land. But George III still vowed he'd rule them to the end. Anything I say, do it my way now. Anything I say, do it my way. Don't you get to feeling independent, 'cause I'm gonna force you to obey. He taxed their property, he didn't give them any choice. And back in England, he didn't give them any voice. That's called taxation without representation, and it's not fair. But when the colonies complained, the king said, I don't care. He even has the nerve to tax our cup of tea. To put it kindly, King, we really don't agree. Gonna show you how we feel. We're gonna dump this tea and turn this harbor into the biggest cup of tea in history. They wanted no more Mother England. They knew the time had come for them to take command. It's very clear you're being unfair, King. No matter what you say, we won't obey. Gonna hold a revolution now, King, and we're gonna run it all away with no more king.
We're gonna elect a president.
No more king.
He's gonna do what the people want.
No more king.
We're gonna run things our way.
No more king.
Nobody's gonna tell us what to do.
Rocking and a rolling, swishing and a splashing over the horizon. What can it be?
I declare this FAP-worthy.
Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to the FAPcast. Welcome to the other hosts of said FAPcast. Frogs together strong. Frogs together strong. Yeah.
See, we got one not hanging out, though they are mute.
How is everybody?
Hello, I'm sorry. Somehow I was muted.
Yeah. I was wondering why you didn't respond. I did the call. You didn't do the respond. Frogs together strong.
Ribbit. welcome to the Ribbit Lucian.
The Ribbit Lucian.
The Ribbit Lucian.
And look, I don't do this. I'm not someone who has ever been like, yeah, go team that I happen to be that represents the place I happen to have been shat out onto the earth and lived most of my life. I've never understood that shit. I don't like it, but I will say this. pretty damn proud that the whole frog revolution started in Portland. You know, that's where it started.
It did, in fact.
People saw what we were doing over here, and they're like, "That they got it figured out. They know what to do.
They know what's up."
And they did it. A lot of people did it. And then, also, just like the people of the country in general, I'll never be proud of a piece of land. There's no reason to fucking just be like, this piece of land is awesome. I mean, it is. There's a lot of resources and stuff, but that's not anything to be proud of. It's just to be appreciative of. But when it comes to people, they fucking showed up yesterday, man. They showed up and they did the right thing. Like a lot. It's
a
pretty
lot. And then a lot.
Yeah. What about you guys? Did you guys get to?
We certainly understood the assignment, and as someone who was there in LA, I did not advertise that beforehand because I care about OPSEC. But I was there. The vibes were chill and frivolous. There were a lot of inflated animals.
Well, so I have a lot of footage of LA right here.
Yeah.
Mute that. There you go. There you go. That delay.
Just goes on and on and on.
I'm in there somewhere.
A very short clip compared to another one that I have, but yeah.
Now here to play. We're gonna play Where's Bob, everybody.
Yeah.
Got a couple others here. Like, check out this one from Chicago. Holy shit! Now this one goes on and on.
Yeah, Chicago came the fuck out.
This is actual speed too.
Yeah, that's how fast Chicagoans move, right?
They move fast. Like, people from New York move fast.
You know,
they're not Wisconsinites. Give us enough beer, and we can move the world.
So I saw that. You see that brown thing that just went by on the top there?
Yeah.
Brown thing went by, and I was like, what was that? I saw it watching the other day, like that. What is that? Well, then I saw another one in a different city, and I figured out what it is. And let me show you that one now. This is, I believe, this is what, Minnesota? I don't know. Oh no, I don't know. I fucking don't know. It is. There's a monorail. I know that.
It's like a Seattle based on the Saxon chapter.
Oh my God.
It's the Constitution. No, it's the Declaration of Independence.
Declaration of Independence, yeah. But I mean, just like a big one, right?
Just a huge one.
You're making a statement when you have one that big, right? Like you're just in case you don't realize that you're kind of shitting all over this document, let's make it real big for you.
Penn Teller tells a story about like when he was traveling a lot during the like early years of the TSA and all the metal detectors and all the scans. He bought a pocket bill of rights that was printed on a metal card, so that way when he went through the metal detector and forgot it, he would say, "Here, take my rights."
Yeah, I mean, I do actually have thoughts on this. However, that's not what this show is about. I mean, at the same time, we'll be talking about it, I'm sure, on the showcast for sure. However, you know,
fine shills will cover it.
I am someone who will talk about what you pay me to talk about. So if you want to donate some money and ask me a question, feel free.
Yeah, super chat Dane, and he will tell you everything you want to hear, baby.
I've definitely got thoughts. It's funny. That's what I'll say.
I have prayers. I have prayers for them.
Yeah, I'm on thoughts. Morgan's on prayers. What are you doing, Bob? What do you got?
I'm on works because thoughts and prayers without works is dead.
That's thoughts. Yep. Faith without works is dead. That's right.
So I'm glad to see we have some big declaration energy going on here because
here's a big declaration. Release the fucking Epstein files.
We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, demand that you release the Pedonomicon.
Open the Pedonomicon.
So I mean, this was generally the vibe, and it literally, like, couldn't be a more simplistic, but also a very accurate depiction of the vibe of the whole No Kings thing.
No.
Just no. He's not being a dick about it. He's not being unruly. He's just saying no. Very politely.
Right. It goes back to the proud American tradition of no make me.
Mm-hmm. You know, and it's good to know that by and large people there are enough people, plenty of people that have not forgotten that that's what, you know, we're supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my takeaway, was like the number of people that came out is an indication that normies understand the stakes, and they understand what's going on, and they are learning that they're welcome in the resistance and that they're not alone in the way they feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen to the way that they were talking about this beforehand, in case you missed it.
That they have coming up for October 18th. The Antifa crowd and the pro-Hamas crowd and the Marxists, they're all going to gather on the mall
to score political points with the terrorist wing of their party, which is set to hold, as Leader Scalise just commented on, a Hate America rally.
They're gearing up for their I Hate America rally this week.
Yeah, man, a lot of people really hating America.
Look at all the people who hate America by waving American
I have a picture
flag.
that really shows that right here. Wow, look at that hatred for America going on.
I don't know if I could be a part of this anymore.
They really wish that, like, and it has worked for their cult for sure. Their cult does equate their regime with the country at this point,
right?
But it's not sticking beyond that. And that's good. It's really good.
Well, I think it's people are experiencing the fact that, like, the regime does not think that they're Americans. That, like, they don't think the people who need walkers, the people who need to work for a living are Americans. You don't count in the eyes of the regime, and you necessarily hate America if you're not okay being stomped on by that system. And the other 95% of people are like, no, we're American. Shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Quit it.
Loading up a bunch of photos as we talk now, because there's a bunch of good shots. There's so many great moments. All good things. You know, Friday night, I feel kind of like a shithead now. Friday night on Live AF, I got on here, and the first thing I did was I said, you know what's kind of fucked up is, and this is real cynical, but it's true. This is what I felt at the time. I said, right now, both sides, so to speak, are wanting the other side to do some violence tomorrow. That's where we're at. You know, they want us to do something violent to some cop or something like that, so that they can use that as their, you know, jumping off their springboard for whatever, you know, the shit they want to do, martial law, whatever. And then we, you know, on the other hand, want to see, we need video of them like beating up somebody in a big giant inflatable baby costume for our propaganda. You know what I mean?
I don't think we wanted that. I think we were expecting it because we've already seen them do that before.
I didn't think that it was not. I didn't think it would. I honestly did not expect it to go off with this big, like seemingly maybe 10 million people, something like that.
Somewhere between 7 and 10 million people.
But yeah, lots of people, and with so many eyes and so much opportunity, I just expected that it was kind of just destined to happen. That they were going to make it happen, right?
Sure.
So yeah, I feel like a fool for being so cynical about it on Friday.
I think we did see some scuffles. I know some stuff went down in Chicago. I believe somewhere else JD Vance was like made a point to like be near a protest so that like it could his security detail could cause a scene, and there was something that happened.
But today, though, like some shit happened to us. It nearly happened to him today. We can talk about that later.
You put yourself in a situation you put yourself in a situation where you want trouble to happen at you, and then be surprised when trouble happens at you. You created the bed you shat in.
Well, so his I guess his motorcade or whatever was on a California highway that was, I guess, having some kind of the California military. I don't know what was going on. Military exercises that apparently something went wrong and kind of rained debris and shrapnel or something pretty much over directly where his motorcade was. So you got people kind of speculating that was Trump trying to kill Vance or something like that. He did not die. Nobody got killed or anything, but it was kind of wacky.
That's a more plausible answer or more plausible scenario than anyone from Antifa being able to do something like that.
Right.
But I do think it's telling. Excuse me. I also expected the regime to try and provoke violence yesterday.
Yeah.
And the fact that they, and I'm not sure what to make of the fact that they didn't, and that all they did instead was post AI videos and a bunch of cope and tweets and stuff. That either means they're smart enough to recognize how bad that would look for them, or they are confident enough that they think they don't need to do it. And I'm not sure which of those it means.
So yeah, as you see here in New York City, at least as the NYPD, the most trustworthy organization in the world, said majority of No Kings
score get out there.
What's that?
I involuntarily like snickered at it. I went, oh shit, my sarcasm got out.
It's okay. I was actually being sarcastic, really.
Oh,
I don't think you should trust the NYPD or really anybody that is police, just outright. But there's it's what do they have? What reason do they have to lie about this? They actually have more reason to make something up in the other direction, but they didn't. So 100,000 people, give or take. No arrests related to the protest. That's pretty great. And that was generally what happened across the country at over 2,500 demonstrations.
Yeah. So, I read somewhere on Bluesky today, and I wish I had saved the link. But in most, the reporting said that in most communities where there was a No Kings rally, the number of people at the rally was greater than the number of law enforcement assets available in that community.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have somewhere a link of just like small towns were posting their shit, like just little nothing towns, like 1,000 people in the town, and they're at least 100 people out. Right. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And the town has
same with me. Like, just to give you an example of how big this was for the audience out there watching, my hometown had, which is in the Panhandle of Florida, had a No Kings rally yesterday with about 5,000 people turning out, and that would be about 10% of that town's population.
Damn.
Which is huge. That's a huge number for any city.
My adopted hometown, I suppose, here in Portland. This is from that.
Yeah. And for more context, my hometown is in Matt Gaetz's old congressional district. It is deep red Trump country. And
also, where
about 10% of their population turned out for No Kings.
Jack Reacher's from too, right?
What?
What's his name? Plays Reacher.
The guy who plays Jack Reacher in the Amazon show.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know if he's from there, but he went to school there.
Yeah, he said he went to school with Matt Gaetz. So
yeah, he was a military brat. His parents were in. I think his dad was in the Air Force. I think so. He moved around a lot.
A lot of people have a lot of different reasons to have been protesting, and that's the beauty of it, is that it's all valid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, essentially every positive, good, beneficial thing, productive, healthy thing in the country is under attack to some degree. So you had, if you're like somebody that believes science is a good thing, hot take, yeah, you had reason to be out there. And then also obviously, trans people, queer people in general, anybody that's not, just cis white guy claiming Christianity.
Right. Well, especially because there's so many groups that the regime is targeting, that like you have trans people, you have migrants, you have anyone who's pointing out the tariffs are bad. You have people who would very much like the streets of their cities back from random checkpoints and stops by fucking ICE agents who are largely just harassing American citizens at this point, right? Like they've raided these apartment buildings in Chicago, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, how many actual like alleged illegal immigrants did you actually arrest? And it was like,
well, they said there was going to be a bunch of gang members in there, and they didn't even they got one, they claim, and
that's what they claim is now. It started like, oh, it was like 12, and then it was 8, and then it was 3, and then it was 2, and now it's 1.
And they back off of that one too. So
have
now
they
it's
already?
0.
Okay.
And they showed up with a separate van ready for all of the black people.
Yeah.
So they went in knowing that there are going to be a lot of black people in the building and a lot of presumed, we'll call them Christian refugees from Latin America, but what they call illegal aliens. And they had already planned on taking everyone in the building and just segregating them by race.
Yep.
Because they knew, or I don't know if they knew, but they think that rounding up every black person in the building and putting them in a separate van and then handing them over to local law enforcement is going to net some people with criminal records or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna net some night desk sergeant at a cop shop a lot of paperwork. And that guy's not gonna like you very much. No, sorry. Like the last thing Chicago PD wants is more paperwork in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So I think it's not long that ICE has already arrested at least one cop.
Yeah.
And it's not long before if things keep escalating this way, before they start arresting more cops.
Well, yeah, especially because
I'm cool with that.
Let them I'm cool with that too. But like cops don't like people stepping on their turf.
Right.
They don't like the feds stepping on their turf.
You also
cops tend to do a lot of malicious compliance with federal forces all the time.
You also have a lot of conservative families of Hispanic descent who are cop families.
Yeah.
Like have a tradition of cops going back, 2-3 generations now. So there's just a lot of Hispanic people working in police forces that are going to get caught up in this. And then that's just going to intensify the division between federal police and local police. And I hate to root for the local cops, but I hope they come out on the right side of that.
I root for anything that undermines the power of the regime and its ability to harass people and unjustly arrest people. So if them bitches want to fight, let them fight.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's why we champion this king right here. The only king we champion right here is in your, like, what an iconic photograph. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Just, and he knew it, she, whatever, whoever's in there. They knew. It's like this is the equal opposite, the heroic version of Trump doing it after he got his little ear wound that time.
After he hurt his ear, yeah.
This is that. Where it's like, yeah.
The blow up suits are just the best part of this, right? Like
they really are. It's genius. It's genius. I don't know who actually I can look that up in a second, but yeah, I don't know how it spread so fast other than just the frog was so iconic instantly that maybe I don't know. How many people already had big inflatable costumes? How many people went out and bought them? Is the inflatable costume industry just blowing up right now? It has to be.
It's got to be going crazy,
yes,
right?
It is. Amazon reported that they were sold out of inflatable frog costumes. And
I wonder how Bezos feels about that, because like he's making bank on these costumes that have sat there for 6 years or whatever.
Right.
And now it's he's also put several $1 million into sucking Trump off. So like, is he the arms dealer selling to both sides, or like
it's temporary?
I want to believe what I believe, and I have no reason to really believe except that I don't think Bezos has just gone full on fascist. I think he's not that it's a good thing at all. It's not, but he's just trying to keep him off his ass and continue to do business how he wants to. So he's placating him as much as he feels he needs to do that. And I don't think he gives a shit. Like he's been selling, Guy Fawkes masks on Amazon for I don't know how long now.
Yeah, 20 years.
Look, I think the allegiance of the corporate elite to the regime is temporary because they are beginning to wake up to the fact that they made a mistake. They made the same mistake that the Republicans made in thinking that Donald Trump barely winning the election means he has some kind of cultural mandate and they're going to rule forever. So they all like freaked out and kissed the ring. But now like the Jimmy Kimmel thing and the inflatable animal thing is starting. They're going to start waking up to the fact that they were wrong, and they're going to have to go back to being so-called woke like they were before because they have no economic choice.
Right. Well, it's one of those
I've been
things
saying
where,
for
like,
years that wokeness is being forced on the corporations by the people and the markets, not the other way around. And they're starting to realize that fact.
We've seen this with a lot of like, well, a lot of places have genuinely complied with the regime's anti-diversity, inclusion, and accessibility requirements, have sort of pushed back against that, or have gone along with their requests to remove that. A lot of places have literally just gone like, okay, we're not complying, and then just changed the office name and changed the job titles, and then just kept doing what they were doing. It came up this week, and that's what Disney did. Was just like, oh, we literally just changed the name, and yep, that's it. Everyone kept their jobs. No one was fired. It cost the company some money for some new stationery. That's it.
Yeah. All of the media companies that are kissing Trump's ass right now will go back to being woke Hollywood before his regime is over. They have no choice.
I want to point out something here. Because for one thing, by the way, speaking of that point, they all know that woke is not a bad thing for their bottom line, because for X amount of time, several years, during the whole time that people were saying go woke, go broke, you could look up a list. There was Rolling Stone had a running list of the companies that had been claimed to be woke and going to go broke. And I think to the company, each one of them was doing better than they were when they first became quote unquote woke.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like every single one of them. And so they know that the reason if they're kind of downplaying it now, it's simply because they just want to get through this without a bunch of, or maybe there's some of them that actually agree with Trump, I'm sure, but still. They're not just like, oh yes, we have to go get rid of woke forever. They're just testing the fucking weather as they do, because they're soulless corporations, and you shouldn't trust them.
We've seen companies who have overcorrected to bend to the regime's whims.
Target,
and it's fucking killed them. Target's lost like a stupid amount of money this year because what they had done is they had made all these inroads with local and minority owned distribution networks and companies. And then Trump got elected and they pulled that all back. And not only did they have to redo their whole logistics network, which is very expensive, but then also every minority community in the country is like, fuck it, I'll go somewhere else.
Right. And every minority community in the country totaled together will be the majority of the population in about 20 years.
Right.
And every corporation in America knows this, which is why they have to be woke. They do not have a choice. And so they're going to cultivate the customer base and the labor pool of the future right now if they're smart.
Especially as the pool of what counts as being woke has ballooned over time.
Yeah.
That but before 2015, 2016, 2018, when woke first became the new thing after SJW was phased out, it was like, the blue hair and pronouns thing, right? But now it's like someone who is on Medicare is woke. Like, okay.
I knew it was going to be crazy whenever somebody referred to climate change as wokeness at one point. This is a few years ago, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be wacky before too long. Climate.
I had someone tell me in general sincerity that Ayn Rand was too woke.
Oh my god!
Because she was an atheist.
Well, she was also a woman, I think.
She was also a woman, yeah. So that was like Ayn Rand was too woke for this person. And I'm like, what makes you say that? Let's take this apart quick. I want to know why you say that. I believe you think she's woke. I'm not going to try and convince you otherwise because it's kind of funny, honestly. Yeah. But also, like, why? It's like, oh, because, she didn't believe America should be a Christian country because she was a devout atheist and,
probably she also accepted Social Security. So, that makes her a communist right there.
That's true.
Well, she paid into it. She paid into it, so she should be able to accept it. Exactly, buddy. Exactly.
That's how that works. Correct.
Somebody tried to argue that to me. It's like, yes, right. That is exactly what it does. Fucking idiot.
So when I'm my age now, right? I pay in according to my ability. And when I am older, it won't be there when I'm older. But the idea is that I receive according to my need.
Right.
Yeah, that was the point. Yeah, correct.
Wait, that sounds like something. Wait, I think maybe a guy said that one time that might be a problematic guy that we don't
Carly
like.
fellow.
Yeah.
Carly Max.
That guy would be Jesus, actually.
Yeah,
oh shit! Hey, wait, Jesus?
I thought it was
Jesus
Jesus
Christos.
Richard Marx. I was thinking Richard Marx or Groucho Marx.
Oh,
Groucho Marx. Oh, sure.
Right.
Yeah, that one too. Great philosopher.
But he was just cosplaying, right? Yeah. I mean, the phrase "from each according to their ability to each according to their need" comes straight out of Acts of the Apostles, chapter 2 and chapter 4 in the Bible. So that idea's been floating around a lot longer than Karl Marx.
Don't Bible me,
a
bro.
little bit. But that's woke.
That's so woke, bro.
We saw it again this week with the Pope released a letter about
that here actually
giving to the poor, and like you have all these American Christians. They're like, I was hoping we wouldn't get a Pope who abused Jesus's teachings, and it's just like, here we go.
Yeah. So Pope Leo says here, very controversial hot take: the poor are not there by chance or by blind and cruel fate, nor for most of them is poverty a choice. Yet there are those who still presume to make this claim, thus revealing their own blindness and cruelty. Buckley's Chance responded, I was so hopeful I could be a Catholic again after the disaster that Francis was. Guess we just get Francis 2.0 now, and I'm heartbroken. How do I stay a Catholic now? I don't want to lose faith, but I am. You belong to someone else, not God.
One of these two men has read the Bible.
Yeah.
Look, I refuse to be a Catholic because they won't stop fucking kids.
Right.
You refuse to be a Catholic because they won't fuck the poor. We are not the same.
I can't. Every time I look at this fucking response, I picture Padme from Revenge of the Sith talking to the Pope like, "You're going down a road I can't follow." You're breaking my heart, Pope. Being nice to poor people.
Yeah, it's the same way. Like, I think it was last year, or it was the last Pope, Francis, said something or kicked someone out of the church. I forget the exact controversy around it, but there was a lot of Twitter chatter at the time of people going, "What is the Catholic Church a dictatorship now? I'm just supposed to do what the Pope says." And a lot of Catholics answered, "Yes."
I'm not even religious at all. I'm definitely not Catholic, but I understand that the Pope is God's guy on earth.
He is infallible.
Yes,
he literally speaks for God.
Yeah, that's the whole deal, right? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. I have not watched that yet, but that sounds hilarious that Jesus isn't Christian enough in the new South Park.
Oh my God! I mean, how long have we made that joke, right? We're not the only people who have made that joke.
Yeah, what's up? What's South Park fucking stealing our material? You know?
Yeah.
Speaking of terrible material, look at this. Okay, I want everybody to really fully contextualize the fact that, first of all, the frog. Remember where the frog was at as far as a cultural political symbol about a decade ago or less?
I do.
Yeah.
So we've come a long way. We've come a long way.
We welcome Comrade Frog back into the ranks of the resistance and the opposition.
Now, just imagine you are presumably the one that has all the power in the country. You have you're the man, right? Clearly, this whole No Kings thing is getting under your skin. The fact that so many people showed up and that you can't convince people that it's really a hate America rallies or whatever. And so, what do you do? You didn't even make a real good plan to do like an op to kind of create the conditions for martial law. You didn't even do that, which everybody kind of expected you to do, right? What do? You do this.
Oh God. You shit on America.
Bro, like, did somebody on our side send this to him? I kind of feel like that might have happened. I feel like we could probably, if we thought of a really good one, we could just kind of send it to him and have him share it himself and not realize that it's a cell phone.
No,
You know?
Trump shared this.
Right.
He himself shared this.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, I am a king who's shitting on America. That's right. That's me.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
let them eat shit. That's his
let
Marie
them eat
Antoinette
shit.
moment.
Yeah.
But then also we do know that there's plenty of stories around. There's plenty of stories that he has shit himself so many times for decades. And so he used to do it on The Apprentice. Apparently, there was the time he was on Fox News, right before the election. Remember we watched, and he had a towel down, like a little pad for him.
The
to sit on the
incontinence
couch.
pad down. Yeah, there's been a few.
The
of those
dude's, constantly shitting himself. I just wouldn't fucking do this if I had any self-awareness or self-respect. But I guess he doesn't. So
who is out with he who is without bowel problems cast the first turd.
I mean, yeah. I'm pretty sure they can't fit his diaper into the cockpit. So they had to create something to let all that shit out of the plane.
They love it because that's the only thing they can love, because they can't create anything themselves. Well, and they can't force people who actually are creative to create things for them. So this is actually a dream come true for them. that's why they all love it.
Love it. Yeah,
it's the next best thing to literally kidnapping an artist and putting a gun to their head and making them create shit for you.
It's stealing all of the art from everyone and then just like having a blender, make art shit that you pour into a glass.
I'm pretty sure that the first guy to get covered in shit in this video was the face of an actual Democratic influencer. I think that guy in the front there.
Yeah,
his name's right on the tip of my tongue. It's Harris or Harry Sisson. That's his name.
I
think that's who he looks like. So I think the AI just used his face.
Sure.
Think of the resources that get used on shit like this. I really don't know personally. Maybe you can explain, Morgan. But actual utility was used up to create this fucking garbage.
Gallons of water were used, and the local electricity bill of wherever that server farm is has gone up because someone made this fucking shit.
This shitty shit.
But just think about what it means that the president of the United States shared this video in response to what is either the first or second largest protest in the history of the United States, called No Kings.
And he said, no, look, I'm wearing a crown and I'm going to shit on everything.
Yeah.
I'm the best president.
Well, I think this just sort of goes to the broader Republican nihilism, is that they don't stand for anything but making everyone who is not them suffer, right? They don't believe in anything other than suffering.
In that regard, that's what this is. The protests, everything that's been going on, the way that it's been handled as far as the costumes and all this stuff. It's all doing its job to make them show their ass, because they can't help themselves. They can't. If they can't hurt us some other way, they're going to find some way to. They will make themselves look completely absurd. We've seen that over and over again, just to kind of get the feeling that they won or something like that, even though they don't actually win anything.
Well, it's one of those, they have to show the base, right? Because the base wants to see them hurting people.
Yeah.
Which is why you had the Mike Johnsons of the world trying to cast this as a Hate America rally, because he wanted it to be about that, to excuse violence that didn't happen, because it very clearly was not. And then it's like, okay, well, we still have to win, so we're just going to have this AI slop say, oh, we shat on them. Okay.
And there are many of the people, the cult that will accept that as like, yeah, you got them, we fucking showed them.
Boss.
It's like nobody, the people that even see this don't think that this is a good look for you,
No.
Yeah. I think this is an indication. This is just what I think, because like I said, it could mean one of two things, but I think the main thing this means is they realize they've already lost.
Yeah.
And they're going to not do anything directly provocative, like send thugs out to crack the skulls of people in inflatable frog costumes. But the fact that Trump shared that video is also evidence that they just are stupid. And they're like bone deep stupid, and they don't understand the historical precedent of let them eat cake. right?
So here is what I think they're gonna do. We have all these gerrymandering things being pushed in red states, and now some blue states are wising up to it and starting to push their own. That's gonna not solve the problem. Blue states doing that just because of how geography works, but what have you. The shutdown's not going to end anytime soon. These people aren't interested in governing. The core precept of Republican politics for the last half a century has been make the government worse and then sell you less government because we've made government worse. And so all they're going to do is sit on their hands and let that happen, and then hope that when enough people get sick of them that they actually do get voted out, that no one can fix it. And that they can get back into power in a short order.
Yeah. There were a lot of Democratic lawmakers speaking at all these No Kings rallies today, pointing out the fact that the reason for the government shutdown is that the Republicans refuse to renew the ACA subsidies that came about under COVID, which means that the health insurance premiums of everyone, not just people on the ACA market, but the entire country's medical insurance premiums are about to double or triple as a result of that change.
So for those of you who don't know how things worked before the ACA, it is that medical providers had to eat the cost. They are required by law to serve anyone who comes into an ER with an illness or injury by law.
Yeah.
Because they should.
Mm-hmm.
But how that worked before the ACA is they just had to eat that cost. The ACA created a network with these subsidies that in the event an uninsured person does stumble into a hospital, even though we have all these subsidies to buy private insurance, which is still for profit and a problem, the hospital will be reimbursed. Well, the hospital isn't going to get that money from nowhere. They're going to pass that on to the paying customers who have insurance. And the insurance companies you're buying your insurance from aren't going to take that laying down. They're going to pass that cost on to you. So if you're someone who wants the ACA gone, know that it's going to hurt you too. And you need to figure out maybe you don't want that and you want these subsidies to continue to exist. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that the video of Trump dumping shit all over everyone spreads far and wide, and it's seen by people people who didn't show up to No King's Day. I hope it spreads to every person in the country, because that's not going to do what he thinks it's going to do.
I think it's important that, when that gets shared around or when someone references it, that is the president shared that himself, right?
Yeah.
Imagine any point in American history, the leader of the alleged free world sharing that video about themselves. They would have
similar.
Been drummed out of office.
Yeah, imagine Obama saying, "Fuck them kids."
Right.
Imagine what would happen.
Imagine him wearing a brown suit.
Right.
or eating, Dijon mustard.
Yeah.
What's funny about that is that he had Dijon mustard on a hot dog.
Right.
Which he was a senator from Illinois. They eat bratwurst there.
Yeah.
And people use all fucking flavors of mustard on their bratwursts. In fact, there are some bratwurst purists that say the worst thing you can do to a brat besides tainting it with ketchup is using yellow mustard. So from a brat connoisseur, from a sausage connoisseur standpoint, Dijon mustard isn't that weird.
Yeah.
But you have to know something about the Midwest. And
Chicago
takes their sausage very seriously.
More and more time goes by, and Obama's just redeemed as years go by. One day, maybe the whole, the drone bombing of children will be redeemed. Nope, probably not.
What do you think about that? No, okay.
But at least he didn't share videos like this. Am I right?
Right. Oh yeah. No. Whatever I want to say about Obama, he's not Trump.
I just made us a new little thing to put there in the. There we go. That's nice.
Yeah, there you go, little guy.
Yeah. Move the chat for a second so I can see what I did there. Got the little guy.
Yeah.
The little guy. Cool. All right. Well, so I guess we could. Oh, Morgan.
What's up?
Have you read Unbreakable X-Men #1?
I have not had a chance to because I've been gone all week. Working.
It is something special. Gail Simone is somebody special.
I have heard that somehow Gail Simone just gets better.
This
and I'm
is
like, but
the
how?
single greatest issue of that I've ever read by her for sure. Like I don't like the fact that she took what is obviously Jed McKay's overall creative thing that he's doing with this Revelation thing.
Yeah.
She decided, okay, yeah, I can work with that. And then what she did was basically tells an offshoot story that kind of leads up to it, I guess.
Okay.
About her team of X-Men before all the stuff that starts happening in Revelation. So like it's 7 years in the future rather than 10.
10, sure.
And it is sad and just like fucking heavy, man. But holy shit. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
Rogue does a thing that is just one. I imagine it's gonna be controversial, but
sure.
It's big deal.
Yeah,
we can comment later, maybe. What else do we have? Talking about Opus DEI.
Yep, Opus DEI. We've got more woke Pope shit. Let's fucking go.
But you know what? I do want to address. I'm gonna have this video. Speaking of whoever asked about it earlier, we're gonna do this real quick because it's a shut, but it's a special one.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find that. So an announcement was made. Apparently, I missed it when it happened. Eric DeBunks popped on stream Friday and just kind of dropped it on me. And I was like, "Holy crap! I was not expecting that." The hell did I do with that video?
I don't know.
Give me just a moment, and I'll find it.
Wait, isn't this the subject that someone asked about in chat earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. What do you want from the MCU X-Men while you're looking? What I want is them to not do anything that Fox did.
I would love a clean break. I've been saying that since before Doctor Strange 2 came out, when it was rumored that there was going to be X-Men and stuff in that, and I was like, please, let's just go away from
break.
I think they're going to in Doomsday and Secret Wars. They're basically going to kill off the Fox men.
Yeah,
and so I think after I think those two movies are going to be a soft reboot of the MCU. Yeah. And after that, they're going to do stories that focus on X-Men rather than Avengers.
Right.
And there's some rumors going around that Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey in the new Spider-Man movie, like a Jean Grey from whatever the next universe is going to be in Spider-Man.
Sure.
It's just a rumor, though. But that's what I want. I like Dane. I want a clean break. I don't want them to do. I want to see zero faces from the Foxman universe. That includes Hugh Jackman. If we have to keep him, okay. He did a great job. I was skeptical. He sold me on his Wolverine. I like his Wolverine a lot. And I like Daphne Keane as Laura. But if they're going to do the X-Men over again, I want entirely new actors in every single role.
Right. Like I guess the one thing with her is that because she's grown, like she's aged as an actor, because she was really young when she did Logan, and now she's a little older.
Yeah,
she probably could play a different version of that character and it still have it be distinct and a clean break from the Foxmen, just because of her aging up as an actor. But I think everyone else kind of needs to go. I would genuinely. Oh, go ahead.
What I really want, and I think what most fans want, is to see X-Men characters interacting with the rest of the Marvel characters in these movies. We want to see Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, X-Men, and Avengers, and all the rest of them all in the same story world together and not off on their own separate universes. So I think that now that Disney owns the Fox characters, they can start doing that. I mean, they're still going to have to sideline Spider-Man and the Hulk. But
I think you're mistaken on this, Screwface. I think that this is one thing that, for trying to work, Feige oversees comics and movies now. And Feige is not someone who's gonna just go, well, we have to do all Wolverine. Like, he probably recognizes how much they leaned a little bit too much on Wolverine in the original movies.
Well, and the comics, like, famously, they did that with the comics too, where like they'd have Wolverine variant covers for books without Wolverine in it.
Yeah, Wolverine outside of comics, like in the general normie population, Wolverine is their most popular X-Men character.
He is, he's one of the most popular who's not like an original, run superhero character. Like, you got Superman, Batman, that run.
Somehow this one-off Hulk villain is one of the most popular X-Men characters of all time. Or popular
good fucking reason too.
Bob's all right.
So they're going to, I think, economically, I think they will have to center Wolverine, at least at the start, in some way. I don't think so. Because it just... I don't think they have to, but I think they have to. And,
I don't think they do.
Okay, we'll see. But I would not be... I would not be surprised if they do.
Let me back up. They already have, right? Like, the first MCU movie with, like... that wasn't a sequel to an existing MCU movie used Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine, right? Like,
yeah,
the mutant appearance in the MCU so far has been a new Wolverine, right? Because the one we got in Deadpool and Wolverine is not the one from the Foxman movies, the different Hugh Jackman Wolverine.
But I mean, it's still Hugh Jackman.
It's still Hugh Jackman, right? But it is.
I think what they're going to do next is that was them saying, look, we know you love Wolverine. Everybody loves Wolverine. Here, we're going to give you Wolverine. Then this is just a speculation thing, but I have as much information as anybody else, which is none. They're going to ease it in. I think they're going to introduce mutants in general. I think it would be like if they do a movie that is just the plot is Wolverine centric again, that is a mistake. I don't mind. I mean, if they have Wolverine in the movie, sure. Okay. I wish they wouldn't. I wish they'd kind of hold off for a while, but like a movie or two, have them kind of teased in the background maybe. But if they really just make the plot focus on Wolverine again, like, I don't know.
Here is something that would be interesting, because I think one thing the comics have struggled with throughout the entire history of the X-Men is integrating the X-Men into the rest of the Marvel universe. And so I think like an interesting thing you could do is like a Wolverine and Punisher story, because it does not matter which one. Like, you could even have the Punisher be the protagonist because he can't kill Wolverine, right? Like, guns ain't gonna do it, pal. So you could have a Punisher story where, like, hey, these people got killed that, Punisher was about to kill, and now it's like, oh, this butcher who is cutting people to pieces is ravaging part of New York, and, like, Frank thinks he's got to stop him, and he shoots the guy, and, nothing happens, and he gets cut up by Wolverine, and then, like, whatever happens, right? But, like, that is a story you could tell in the MCU that would make Wolverine part of the story fitting into the MCU, but it's not a mutant story.
I want to Chad Cyclops not the early Ultimate. Who cares? No, the entirety of Krakoa. That's the Cyclops.
Yeah, that's what we should do. We should just start with the not all of Krakoa, but with like the polycule of Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean Grey. Just like that's the core of the X-Men, and they're a polycule. Just because it was so weird. But it
Wolverine
worked.
is gay on the moon with Cyclops just being extra gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lyric about that.
I feel like we probably won't get that, but
probably not.
All
right, but we'll get as far as integration goes. Speaking of integration, let's look at this little integration project that's happening.
Brand new website over on geeksandgamers.com, and we are merging with That Park Place. We're going to bring their editorial team over. What the vision for this website is to obviously be the entertainment hub for our sphere, but also the news and information for our sphere as well. So when Az goes on a legendary rant, when the internet is misrepresenting what happened in that rant, we're going to...
I just gotta put my
I don't get offended by shit.
Okay, so that rant was scripted.
Yes.
His emotion is entirely fake.
Yep.
Because you can watch the clip before and after it. He like gets his game face on, and then he just is like, okay, so anyways, and he goes back to playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and most normies who share that clip, not even just like people like us, like most normies who share that clip, share it to make fun of it.
Yes. But the point of this project that they're doing here is, as you'll see, was they explain it more. Yeah, let's just hear what he says, because the way they said it actually is really great. Like, I appreciate that they're as open with what they say as they are.
Okay, I have an article to break it down, to tell everybody what's actually going on. When Critical Drinker makes a viral tweet, we're going to write an article about it. When Ryan says something controversial, we're going to not be able to enjoy the negative grip, guys. I'm out.
When the chicken man opens his mouth, you're going to write an article about it. Okay, bro, whatever.
Ryan Cannell is so weird because the size of his forehead does not correlate to the brain size.
Every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can fucking current day us.
Embrace tradition.
Yamper here does not appreciate you playing those dog whistles on stream. It's really getting him upset, Dane.
Sorry. You know who does appreciate them? Well, I mean, let's ask him. We'll see if he does. See if he appreciates them. Do you appreciate them? Boss Nass? Not gonna do it. But yeah, this is just them saying, guys, we want to create the perfect echo chamber for you. Like this echoey that you literally can't hear anything else. It's going to echo so loud for you and just constantly. And if you get kind of like, this is them saying, if you feel like on Twitter, which is now X, which is a Nazi platform owned by a Nazi billionaire, and then also Truth Social, which is a MAGA Nazi fucking Truth Social thing, and then also generally all these social media apps that really don't kind of make us they don't hold us accountable for anything. We can just say whatever we want. We can do whatever we want, and then we can go and mass downvote shit on YouTube. We go mass downvote and create fake fucking review bombs for stuff on IMDb, on Rotten Tomatoes. If that's not enough to keep the fucking cognitive dissonance at bay, we got you, bud. We got you. We're going to create such a perfectly fucking hermetically sealed echo chamber for you. You will never, ever question the narratives that we feed you ever again.
That's what they're hoping. They're hoping that's the result they get. But this is just more proof of the Chudpocalypse. They're dying, so they're combining to try and save them.
Yeah, Bob said the magic word.
They're hoping that this saves all three of them because they're all sinking, but it probably won't.
How would you like to die today, Bob?
Sorry, that was slipped. I slipped.
Likely story.
Yeah, it's
So how do you do, fellow kids?
Ryan Cannell's forehead does not correlate with the size of his brain. He's got extra bone matter up there, but not extra brain space. And like,
well, I mean, it's to protect, because like I think it's a kind of a weird evolutionary quirk that maybe his brain is so fragile and small that his skull just developed extra space to kind of protect it more.
His brain is so fragile that it needed more skull to protect it. Because it's a precious little snowflake. It has to be
the absolute Chud website. You feel like there's going to be an Eric July tie-in coming? I mean, so from what I understand, I've heard that that maybe he's going to be possibly co-owning the Rippaverse with somebody, which would be also another indicator, just like this is, that they're not doing well, guys. Like
doing well,
I mean, is there? And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know the history of fucking corporations and companies and stuff. But generally, if you're doing really well, you don't make a move like this, right? Where you look and oh wait, you guys aren't doing so well either. Let's combine our forces and become like a shitty pro-fascism reverse Voltron that's not cool at all.
Well, so sometimes you do, right? If you are the third and fifth biggest player in a market, right?
Okay.
And you want to be the biggest player in the market, and let's say the fifth player is getting pushed out, right? They're losing ground. And maybe the third player is gaining maybe they're staying the same. It's in their combined benefit to work together to get a firmer grip on that market. And the fifth ranked company gets the benefit of not being insolvent, and the third ranked company gets the benefit of being maybe the second biggest or actually the biggest now, and the benefits that come along with that. So that does happen in the market. I think what's different here is that it's a website. And if you look at like one of the things that like when it comes to YouTube is that's a problem for people who have tried to grow off of YouTube. It's like, okay, so you're a YouTuber with a Substack, right? So 2% of your audience on YouTube goes to your Substack, right? Maybe 5% goes to your Twitch streams if you post videos on YouTube and you live streams on Twitch, right? People aren't going to follow you off the platform. So if you're a YouTuber who really likes as screaming at the YouTube screen, screaming at you about pronouns, you're not going to follow the website covering Ryan Cannell's racist ramblings because that's a lot of work, and you're just going to click the next YouTube video because that's what you're on YouTube for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're hoping like you merge when you have a product to sell or when you have a product that you hope people will buy. Like I think if the Geeks and Gamers is the big dog in this merger, it's pretty obvious because I had barely ever heard of the other two. I've heard of that Park Place, and I know they're associated with one of the C.
So that Park Place, let's get that out in the open here.
So there's John Della Rosa's thing, or who was
John Della Rosa's Fandom Pulse.
Pulse.
So that Park Place is John F. Trent. For those that aren't familiar, I'll pull up a quick refresher on him from our friend Column of Trash, who we now know what he looks like, and what a handsome fucker he is. Jesus Christ.
Dane is so just like you could hear the.
I wasn't expecting, honestly. I just thought that he was hiding like his one weakness or something by not showing his face, and then he was like, "Nope, that wasn't it."
He's much younger than I thought he was too.
I mean, I kind of knew generally how old he was because we'd had conversations about general, but like, he's younger than you would think. He's a very wise guy for his age.
It's a wise guy, see?
He's a wise guy.
Yeah, see, yeah.
It really sucks with that accent though.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to do that. His Chicago gangsters right the fuck out.
So let me find this real quick. Grift exposed. Yep. John, alphabetical order.
Well, John F. Trent is another. Since we're also planning on talking about Opus DEI at some point tonight, that would be a good segue because he's like a Catholic, like a radical right-wing Catholic freak, and yeah, he's the one that used to do the Bounding into Comics. Was that him?
Yes, that was him, and then I believe that the initiative Showcast we do take some credit for exposing them, kind of putting them on blast for what they've been doing. They had not gotten any really credit or press rather for people not focusing on the fact that they had just gone full on maniacal, hateful, fucking extremist bigot in their thumbnails and their titles. They would have a fucking article about a trans character that's like a tertiary character in some show, and then they would have Pope fucking or not Pope Cardinal fucking
Cardinal,
Bishop whatever Babbage at the end of the article. Like most of the article would be actually just a perfectly fine article about the show. It would be like, here's generally no bias or anything, just like a straight up write up about it. And then you would suddenly transition to Michael Burbage talking about how trans people aren't valid because God says so or whatever. And it's like, holy shit.
I think another thing that got them like, because I know we talked about it on here, and I've talked to people about it, and who are like sending those articles from there to me, like, what the fuck is this? Or have you seen this? Or like trying to use it to win an argument. It's like you follow their sources, and all they're doing is citing themselves.
Yep. Well, and that's definitely what they're going to be doing with this whole network now. By the way.
Right. It's all going to be. He said.
Yeah, and the fact that all of them used to rely so much on bounding into comics, like Gary at Neurotic, Critical Drinker, all of them, that used to be their go-to source, is the reason that I've said for years that the project of the Chud space was to launder Christian nationalism for an audience that sees itself as non-religious and secular, because those articles, the format would be copy and paste something from like Deadline or the Hollywood Reporter for a couple paragraphs, and then boom, here's Bishop Burbage giving you the Opus Dei line on something. So it creates an association in the audience's mind between the talking points of Christian nationalism and the talking points of the anti-fandom space. So that when secular audiences hear those talking points,
is the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction. Wait, no, that's not right.
All right, here we go.
John De La Rose is the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction. Wait, no, that's not right. John De La Rose is a YouTuber, Holocaust denier.
Fuck.
Millions of views it was probably more like 300,000.
So they basically were indistinguishable people until until Bounding into Comics broke open, basically. After we kind of exposed them, did multiple videos saying, hey, look at how shitty these guys are, talking about, ostensibly talking about media and comics, and then they get people in there and there's just spewing hatred. And then eventually they seemed like they sold it to somebody, and they
sold the
and and the Pillar of Garbage kind of went over the ownership of all this stuff brilliantly in his videos for the But like then so JDA went over to, and John De La Rose is the most openly terrible one. Like, he's fucking just objectively a shitty human being, and that's not even including the fucking documentation, legal documents about his family issues. That's all I'll say there. He's just a disgusting, vile person who is anti-Semitic out to the extreme, is proud of it in many cases. And then you got John F. Trent, who's generally probably believes about the same shit. I think you go look at his Twitter and it would be like ultra nationalist Christian, Catholic extremism posts and stuff like that. But he's more subdued because I guess he would try to be, the legit business guy or whatever.
Right.
He went and did thatparkplace.com, which obviously was never going to do as well as Bounding into Comics just based on the name, right?
No.
I think that Parkplace is also associated.
What drives somebody to call it that, but he did.
I think that Parkplace is also associated, I think, with WDW Pro.
Yes.
Who I recognize that name, but they're I don't know exactly the ownership there. I haven't looked into it yet, but they never did really take off anywhere close to like Bounding into Comics. It was having a pretty big heyday for a couple of years there. For a while, you would almost could guarantee to see one of their articles used as a source in some Chud video. Not anymore. But then on the other hand, you have Criticless, which is the third tier down from those other two. Like they're they didn't have as far to fall because they didn't really make it before. They're pretty.
To have farther to fall, you would need to not be on ground level.
So if you watch the showcast before it was even called the showcast, back when it was just the initiative, and it was me and Turf and Bob, we did a video where we looked at woke or not, and then like basically anti-woke Rotten Tomatoes websites that we'd found and were pretty hilarious.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And there's a couple of them, a few of them that they're pretty dumb, pretty bad. The way that they rated it is exactly what you would expect. All down. It's not actually if it's good or not. It's all just, is it woke or whatever. Really bad shit. Brain rot. But then this guy, I guess, whatever his name is, with Criticless, decided to do it a little bit different. I guess brand it without being so obvious, maybe. And they seemed to kind of add a community element to it that maybe the others didn't do well. And to some degree, it got a little traction. The Chud started talking about it in their videos and stuff. Nonetheless, that was right at the beginning of the Chud apocalypse. So, sorry about your luck, Criticless.
Rip.
And yet, so here they are now. They're all, like I said, coming together like a Voltron made of turds.
See, I could think people are multifaceted, but it seems like all these people, every facet of them is just shit.
Yep,
they are the shit demon from
Dogma.
Dogma, yeah.
Just real
The
quick,
Golgothan.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty stupid. It's really dumb. Criticless. First of all, the title is the name of it
Not great.
indicates that there's no criticism. So, or is it just not it's not actual criticism? Is that what you're admitting by saying this? Anyway, I don't know. You look at.
I don't know what you're about, right?
The first thing is merch. First thing is merch.
Oh gods! Wow, you're wow, dude.
Seem to have some adult films being talked about here. Maybe I don't know. I don't know why that's there. You know, there's no rhyme or reason. There's just movies from random years. Here, these are the trending new films, I guess. Let's just look at one real quick for the hell of it.
So they're trying to be letterboxed, an anti-woke letterboxed.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
So let's say Peacemaker, right? That's probably decent audience, 40%, 48 voters. Where you can watch it. So language, a ton. Violence, a lot. Nudity, sexual content, a lot. Political bias, very left. Family friendly, no. Entertainment value, a bit. Cool. That's really useful stuff, man.
I like.
This review contains no additional content.
Like, what is?
Thank you. That's very helpful.
This is exactly. I mean, honestly, this is kind of brilliant. If your goal is to appeal to chuds who are used to responding to meaningless shit, because that's all this is. What is all this?
It's the definition of slop.
This is the place where you can review bomb everything.
Yeah.
And not get shit for it.
Like, okay, so here's the thing. Like, I actually think there's a use of that, though, right? Like, I would love to have a website that is just like where you go to review bomb things.
Mm-hmm.
Because then we could contain them, right? Like, I think that like IMDb could just leave their review scores as like a cesspool, or not IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes. I'm sorry. Leave those as cesspool, and just like everyone else agrees that like you just ignore those, like you move them onto a separate tab.
Well, you know what? That actually brings up something interesting that I was looking at. So apparently, with the shutdown, the government shutdown, and whatnot, over enough period of time, I suppose, a lot of people on the left, or Democrats, whatever, have just obviously fled Twitter. And apparently, the chuds decided that they were not happy about that. A lot of right wingers, influencers, even government people decided they're going to come over to Bluesky and fuck with us.
It didn't work for them.
If you know about Bluesky and some of the cooler features of it, like the block lists, it's pretty cool. It's one click and it will just block all of these people.
And what's funny is like when all of these government departments, which are ostensibly shut down, right?
Yeah.
Created their accounts. Like if you were already had some of these block lists, that you could never even, they were already blocked. You had to not even push a button. It was like, oh, Trump's on Blue Sky. He's already blocked. I didn't have to do a fucking thing.
You may remember when JD Vance was infamously blocked faster by more people than anybody ever, or something like that.
Became the most blocked person on Blue Sky.
And the thing is that really fucking chaps their asses, because and this is something I really hadn't fully conceptualized until now, but it's one thing to have terrible views like they do, right? They can't be happy just sitting there having those views in a vacuum. That's not good enough.
Right.
Their shitty, awful views must be communicated at others. And if they can't do that, they fucking cannot handle shit. They can't handle life. And that's really fascinating, because that really kind of puts the ball in our court. So, the real power of the dynamic there is really, it's on us.
When you get these like lefty,
we realize
you get these like, they call themselves lefty, but they're like centrist writers for magazines that are looking to complain about like the Blue Sky echo chamber. It's like, well, no, Blue Sky isn't an echo chamber. There are plenty of people who disagree on lots of things. There's a level of expected behavior that you will just end up on a block list. People are not afraid to block you. It's part of the culture.
One of the rhetoric, the tactics they've used for years now to normalize bigotry in regular normie spaces It's been very successful, and we have to not fucking fall for that shit anymore.
Right. We just
oh, you just want to live in an echo chamber. Can't tell you how many times I've heard that on my channel. Oh, I'm just, it's to a cartoonish degree sometimes where they're like, oh, I'm just saying we should gas the Jews, and you're just like, you don't want to have an honest debate about the ideas.
I think the accusation of you just want to live in an echo chamber is such a telling accusation, and not necessarily in an every accusation is a confession sort of way, but in a like their views don't even matter to them unless they're making someone else uncomfortable.
Yep.
That they can't exist in an echo chamber because they have nothing to do then, right?
Yeah.
Like,
or unless they
Blue
think
Sky
they're
folks
making
post
someone
all the time.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, you look at like how Twitter has become, where unless like there is some like lefty story or individual that like Musk wants to punch down at, then it just turns into right-wing infighting as like over the particulars of whatever Elon Musk is upset about this minute.
Yeah.
They can't stand being in the echo chamber they've created for themselves.
Right.
They want to bother everyone else with their bullshit. And we're just
one
like
of the things that I personally like in my kind of mental health personal journey, I set a goal to be able to do it years ago, and I did get there, was just to be okay being by myself and like not feel like I needed to reach out to somebody, and I'm just talking about like for a couple of days or something, not like forever.
Right,
but,
yeah.
Just because for the longest time when I was younger, I'd always want to call a friend and go do something or whatever, or just be witnessed, be perceived. You know what I mean? Like if it was like some compulsion, like if I was not being perceived, did I really exist? Well, who cares? I wanted to be comfortable with not being perceived and not having to be around anybody, and I got there. And these guys can't do that. And not only there's that basic level that a lot of people kind of have that, but then there's with them, they specifically need the whatever dopamine hit they get by feeling like they're fucking triggering people or offending them or whatever, like because the only thing that they have of value in their mind for themselves, many cases, is this warped fucking sense of I'm a fucking big strong man or whatever. I can handle anything. You're the triggered one, and I'm gonna prove it. And it just, god damn, it's so stupid, and it's gone on long enough now that I'm able to see these people much more like Neo seeing the fucking Matrix now. You know what I mean? There's no fucking mystery to them anymore.
And here's the dumbest part. It works on them thinking they have triggered the libs, no matter how the lib actually responds, right? Like any response at all is taken by them as triggered, and they will put it on blast, even if you say like, nah, man, I don't agree. They'll be like, oh, triggered. And then
that Trump video, for example, right? It's a good one because anybody going, that's pretty fucking, oh wow, man, I can't believe he shared that. That's really not a good look. Like they can't even comprehend that we're seeing it the way that we are. We're like, this is just so sad, dude. And they're gonna take that as, oh, you're just triggered, so you're just saying it's sad. No, man, like it is actually really, really a depressing moment in our fucking timeline that this is something the president shared.
Yeah. I have a recent example from personal experience with this, with our boy, the backseater, who reacted to a video I made, and they actually caught me in a trivial factual error about Tolkien lore. And so like I posted on my YouTube channel and said, yeah, they got me. I was wrong about this particular factoid. Thanks for the correction. And they responded like, oh, he's so triggered,
This Trump deranged, it's a perfect example, because it doesn't matter what you say. It really is. It's all just thought terminating cliches and guardrails to keep their thinking from getting outside of the lines that they're supposed to be thinking in. And yet they think, oh man, it's so frustrating. They think they're the fucking enlightened ones. No, I mean, maybe that seems like something maybe he does on a regular basis, for all I know. Maybe.
Look, I'm not going to kink shame anyone, but we did not need to see that.
Yeah,
look, I haven't gotten my check yet. Where's my check? I want my Soros bucks.
The kind of concerning thing about like all this is like, even if we get past Trumpism and MAGA in general, people are going to be fucked up for a long time.
Well, and I think
and
this is what
it's acceptable to fall for the same content. Like there really does need to be a change in, I don't know, a regulation in what kind of content can just be pumped out in the fucking internet. But
what we need is a Democratic Party willing to dismantle the parts of this system that allowed this to happen. Yeah. And the Democratic Party is a party that sees the system as sacred. They're an institutionalist party, right? That's what they're all about systems. We need to fix the system. Well, sometimes part of fixing a system is taking part of it down. And unfortunately, you're going to have to do that. And not just for our benefit, though it will be for our benefit, for the benefit of all of us, all Americans. It will also be for your benefit, for your political survival. Because you won't have an office to hold at the going rate.
Yep. There is no real center. The center shrinks all the time. And then that's still what they tend to try to appeal to.
Here is the thing with the center. The center exists, but it doesn't matter. It's called apathy.
Right.
We have bred an apathetic population, right? We don't. What percentage of our population votes compared to the rest of the so-called West? Right, it's a small percentage. The center is just the people who don't give a fuck and aren't incentivized to give a fuck.
And in some cases, they might be right to not give a fuck. The way that politics are played, it can be like, I can understand somebody who hasn't engaged yet, kind of trying to peek in and go, okay, what's going on here? Oh wow. Yeah, that video Trump shared. I don't give a fuck. I'm tuning out.
No. I mean, that's my response, right? Is that I saw that video posted, and I have on Blue Sky I have videos set to not play when they show up, and it mentioned shit, and I'm just like, cool. Anyways, and went back to what I was fucking doing because I had shit to do and not shit to watch.
The Anti-Project 2025 is the Green New fucking deal, man.
That's
what it was.
That's what it was.
In fact, Project 2025 is the anti-Green New Deal. That's
right.
Yeah. And here's the thing. The Democratic Party is institutionalist because they started out defending institutions that are good, like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. But that metastasized into defending everything about the status quo.
Well, and as well as the fact that they were very resistant. They would eventually, in many cases, any of the social labor wins that we have in place were done, or obviously all of the hard work was done by fucking leftists before eventually the liberals go, oh, you guys have laid a lot of groundwork. Let me just go ahead and snag that as a talking point that I'm going to run on. And then, they would make something happen, generally at a much compromised level from the original idea. But still, that would happen. And it's just at this point, they aren't even doing that anymore. They're not even looking to the left for ideas to snag and fucking, liberalize.
Well, it's because their donors don't want that. And the labor unions, right? A strong labor union environment is not a system. Labor unions originate in opposition to the system. That's how they came to be, right? We don't have unions because the system worked for everyone. We have unions because it didn't.
Right.
And so I think there will always be a hostility between institutionalists and unions because unions represent the manifestation, the consequence of a failure of the system to see to people's needs.
So I actually did read something the other day that had a potential, because I personally didn't understand any way to get out of the Citizens United shit. I don't see how that would happen with it anytime soon. There apparently is some pathway that could happen that would involve states adopting their own individual anti-PAC kind of policies.
Mm-hmm.
And if enough states did that, then you could potentially kind of build brick by brick back to a essentially in essence federal.
That would involve. So the problem with that is that all of that assumes that we have a Supreme Court that gives a shit about the rule of law, and we very much don't.
And this is the Supreme Court that literally made Citizens Unite happen in the first place. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
So, to
you
be
need
clear,
to disempower the Supreme Court.
Yes,
I like that word.
I'll trust that point.
Power. I can think of other words, but I like that one.
I'll address that in a second. I just want to point out that big money in and of itself is not the corrupting influence. The corrupting influence is the lack of transparency. Because money being spent for good causes by people with good faith motives is a good thing. And we want that on the left because we need it. So it's the secrecy, it's big secrecy that's the real problem, not big money in and of itself. The Supreme Court can be addressed by the way that FDR addressed them, which would require us first to have a Democratic president who has a spine. But assuming that happens,
ready to fucking
let's cross our fingers and assume that happens. So a couple of the things that FDR did, because he was faced with a Supreme Court that was even more right wing than the one we have right now.
Yeah,
and he proposed a couple of things that made them back off. One of them was, he said, I'm going to create and propose in Congress a justice emeritus position, which means that any Supreme Court justice over the age of 70, if there's multiple members on the Supreme Court who are over the age of 70, all of them will just be one vote together because they are the emerita justice. And then he would appoint other younger justices to the court. He also said, I'll expand the number of justices on the court to get what I want, because he had not just him in the White House, but he had an 80% voter margin in Congress. It's the biggest Democratic majority we ever had. And because Congress had the power to do that, the Supreme Court backed off. And that's how we got Social Security through and all the other New Deal things he did. And that's what we need. We need overwhelming political power that cannot be defeated by filibuster. And we need a progressive president of any party with a fucking spine, preferably someone who is a class traitor like FDR was. FDR in modern American dollars was a billionaire, but he fucking hated billionaires.
We also need parts of the government to, when the Supreme Court gives a shitty ruling, to say, make me.
Yeah, there's a provision in the Constitution called jurisdiction stripping, which says that Congress can pass a law, and part of the law can be the Supreme Court does not get a say.
Does not get a say.
And that's it. If the president signs it, that's it. The courts cannot overrule it.
Right.
But we haven't used that provision in like decades.
Right. If we wanted to enshrine abortion rights back into the Constitution, we would have to do so with a law that says, and the Supreme Court can fuck itself.
Yeah.
That the Supreme Court cannot rule on, bodily autonomy cases of individuals, right? The government doesn't have the authority to do that in the courts, right?
Yeah. Because
someone gets to say it's their bodily autonomy and you're done.
Yeah. The reason the jurisdiction stripping provision is in the Constitution is because our system was not set up to have the Supreme Court be the last word on everything.
Right.
That is a power they arrogated to themselves in the decision Marbury versus Madison. Mm-hmm. And the rest of the establishment just went along with it.
Echo.
What we got here is and we're probably gonna hear echoing on your end, guys. Just remind me to mute this if I need to. What's that? Sorry. Okay. This is probably going to be one of the last times that CBS is going to be useful. Got a CBS investigative report here that explains how dark money does its thing.
This year's election. Those are donations that are made where the source and the donor are undisclosed. CBS News investigative reporter Daniel Kleidman has been following this story, and he is here with us now in Studio 57 to explain what he found. Always great to have you, Daniel. You write about a single anonymous donation of $64 million that helped Joe Biden get elected in 2020. What do we know about the source of that funding and how it was made its way into the primary Biden super PAC?
Well, we know almost nothing about the source of that funding, which is why this is an important story. Look, in July of 2020, a 501c4 tax-exempt organization that no one had ever heard of just kind of popped up out of the blue and received a donation for $64 million from a single anonymous source. That is a staggering amount of money. Most people believe it came from one very wealthy pro-Biden individual, but it could have come from another entity, from a privately held corporation or from an LLC, but we just don't know. That money then moved from the Impetus Fund, which was this 501c4, to the nonprofit arm of the main Biden super PAC called Future Forward USA Action. Now, 501c4s, these tax-exempt organizations, they don't have to say who their donors are. But a few weeks later, in October, just before the election, $60 million was moved from Future Forward USA Action to Future Forward, which is the Biden super PAC. Super PACs do have to disclose who their donors are. But the donor in this case was their nonprofit arm.
Right, which we don't know.
Right. No one knows what Future Forward USA Action is or who's behind that. And so, you know, good government groups and people who are concerned about the lack of transparency in the system are really concerned about this trend, which has been going on for quite a while now, because voters can't assess what are the interests and the agendas that lie behind all of that money. An individual who gives $64 million to a political cause likely wants something in return for that, but we don't know what that would be.
And so this is, you know, focused on the Biden campaign, this particular example, but Republicans are doing it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, just last week, one of these dark money 501c4s popped up in Pennsylvania and is spending $2 million on ads attacking Biden on behalf of Trump about how he's ignored the inflation issue. So it is happening on both sides. Ironically, the Democrats have actually excelled in the raising of dark money over the last few cycles and have surpassed the Republicans. I say ironically because...
I don't think it's a coincidence. Let me mute this so you guys can chat as well. I don't think it's a coincidence that in the same general time period that the Democrats have become very, very successful at utilizing dark money funds, they've also less and less and less done a single goddamn thing really to represent the people that vote for them.
Yeah, because people who give dark money people don't give money for free when they're being shady like that. They're giving it to you for a reason. There's something they want.
I mean, in some cases,
that's why
there's that are openly that, like, for instance, Marvel has in the past donated to both Republicans and Democrat campaigns and
That's
stuff like that.
Super duper common.
But yeah, that's the kind I'm not worried about. I'm not worried as much about that because they're doing it openly at least. Whereas what's going on here, right?
Right. And that's why the issue is secrecy, not money in and of itself.
Right.
Because if
money is just a tool.
If every campaign ad sponsored by a super PAC said brought to you by British Petroleum, people would have a very different opinion of what their political party is.
I mean, it's dark money. It's not black money. That might be.
Yeah, I would not call it black money. That's a different thing in politics.
But I mean, I don't understand why considering we have these BS tech oligarchs. I mean, in many cases it might be the same. But I mean, yeah, in some cases it is the same. You've literally got. I mean, Musk openly gave $250 million to Trump's campaign.
But look what that did to him, right? Like in the presidential election, that whether or not it helped him is sort of up for debate, but it certainly had an impact. But since November 2024, Musk's involvement in Republican politics was a lodestone. It caused them to lose elections.
We are not fully aware of the extent to which Doge did some damage yet. Actually, there's that report that we didn't look into that we meant to, and we didn't cover it yet. But we might need to make a point of that because I think that they did do a bit of damage.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Doge. I'm talking about Musk's like campaigning and throwing money around in elections like Wisconsin Supreme Court election and a few other ones.
I mean, I also think he got what he wanted generally. I don't think that he necessarily, speculation, wanted to spend an extended period of time in politics. I think that he had some very personal, specific reasons why he wanted to have his hands on some power.
Right, but
yeah,
the lesson here is the following: all of the dark money that was spent in the last election still could not get Donald Trump over 50% of the vote.
True.
They barely won, and that should tell us that the power of grassroots people is more powerful than that of the tech oligarchs. It does not, in the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money they have or how much money they spend if the people unite against them. If a large enough segment of the people unite against them, they will lose.
When Bernie's run, he has just gone crazy on numbers of small donations, small number donations. But the amount in total is fucking incredible because there's so many just people that are giving a little bit of money that was able to compete with the money, the corporate money people. It was just the Democrats.
Not just money though, like people showing up to do things and saying and resisting and saying no, etc. All of that together. It's not just money is a part of it, but it's more the numbers. We outnumber them and they know it.
I mean, there was
that's why they want to keep their spending a secret.
During the very last, the last leg of the election, I remember we covered the Musk had paid for some, just some company or group that flyers for, you pay them in the flyer, whatever you want them to flyer. They paid him a bunch and they essentially thrown a bunch of the flyers away and didn't really, go around, and it's like, that doesn't happen really whenever it comes to people who are motivated to support Bernie or something like that in particular, because they're not
because
money,
they believe in things.
So
I also think that part of one of the smart things that Bernie has done, because I don't think Bernie is going to be in a position to run for president in 2028.
No.
I think what he has done though is find a stable of people that he has gone on tour with as kind of this super group to be his next generation, like that he can transfer his people to.
Yeah. True.
That are a little more established as Democrats, because Bernie is very much an independent, right? He does not want to be a Democrat. That's not who he is.
It's really important that he's doing that, because that's something that Obama did not do.
No, he didn't.
Obama basically hollowed out the Democratic Party and took all of his people with him when he wasn't president anymore, and almost none of them stuck around to help.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another stream we could talk about one day.
Yeah.
So the fact that Bernie is doing that, he's setting up infrastructure that will enable more progressive people and younger people to take over the Democratic Party from the ground up, regardless of what the elites with all the money want. And that's really important. And that's going to take several years to pay off, but it will pay off.
Mm-hmm. Because someone has to go knocking door to door. Someone has to run phone banks and text banks.
Yeah. I mean,
and those are all volunteers.
Basically, AOC is the most popular politician in the country next to Bernie Sanders. And she's now in a position to be a kingmaker as well. Right.
Right.
And I don't think she would win if she ran for president. And I hope she's not running for president. I think that would be a huge mistake. But she has the fundraising ability to get much more progressive people at all levels of the Democratic Party, local, state, federal, etc.
Right. She can be a huge hand on the scale towards getting a progressive president. That makes it's almost more important that she's doing that than actually running for president.
And not just the president. We need everything. A Democratic Party that can reclaim its grassroots and take over Congress in an overwhelming majority like FDR had.
Right.
That's what Bernie's long game is. Because FDR had I think 80% of the Congress was Democrat.
Something like
that. 80 senators were Democrats, and almost all of the House of Representatives was Democrats for a whole generation or two. That's how we got good shit like the New Deal through.
That's the
only way we're going to get good shit like the Green New Deal through, is to recreate those material conditions.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we beat the fascists, right? Like not just here, but literally abroad, right? Like that level of a unified government for progress is what defeated fascism the last time.
Yeah, FDR's mission was to save capitalism from itself. That's what his project was. He was a member of the capitalist class, and he recognized that the system was collapsing under its own contradictions, and he knew if it wasn't saved, then it ran the real risk of fascists taking over. But he was also didn't want communists taking over either.
Right.
So the New Deal was a way to address the contradictions of the system that people were suffering from in a way that preserved the power of the capitalist class, but just took away some of their money. Not all of it.
Right.
Just enough to make it better for everybody else. And that was enough for them to hate him.
They hated him even as like they boomed and became more profitable than they could have possibly imagined, right? They all became phenomenally wealthy under FDR.
Yep.
By being asked to give a little, they made more than they could have imagined under their own system.
So memes and comics. I'm calling it memes and comics.
All right.
I want to do some memes and comics here to kind of, you know, we earned a little relaxation time, I think.
Yeah.
So first of all, I got some memes. Actually, let's do comics first. So first of all, somebody posted this in the Discord the other day and said, you know, wow, man, this was a 1954, I think, Bill Everett created comic, Marvel. This is the original Human Torch, not Johnny Storm, the original. You know, Johnny Storm is Johnny Storm. Human Torch is Human Torch. Just straight up burning Hitler, and Hitler's lying with his dying breath. Don't tell him it was the fucking Human Torch that did it. You know,
Mike committed suicide. That's hilarious.
You know, old Marvel used to be base as fuck. This was awesome. And I was like, well, yeah, okay. I had not seen this before. So what I learned was that this is the original version of something I was very well aware of.
In the in the recent Ultimates run, yeah. This is
this pays homage.
This is what he's flashing back to.
Yep. So here we've got I think it was Ultimate number 7 or 4.
Yeah.
This is the first page of that comic.
It's a beautiful page.
It is the Human Torch, the same guy, accessing his memories of just like Crispin Hitler. I'm not saying Crispin Hitler's in like he's related to Crispin Glover or something. It's just like crisping him. Okay. And then follow-up page is thus. Where you know, he says, so that was just the cover. Somebody asked in the previous one, so I thought Hitler killed himself. So that was just the cover story. The Soviets were threatening a superhuman arms race and screaming about illegal developments overseas or illegal deployments overseas. Back then, we had this thing called politics. And the Wasp says, so how's it feel? I mean, you know, killing Hitler. How did it feel? My brain, that's really small. My brain isn't the world's oldest computer, but it's close. In the old days, I had to routinely erase memories so it wouldn't slow down and seize up under the weight of all that history. I gave up my Medal of Honor. I gave up the memory of getting my Medal of Honor. I gave up good friends, good years, blah, blah, blah. It says, you know, for a while I played the piano, but even that had to go. But that memory, I keep in full color and high definition. I go back to it again and again. It keeps me warm. So just, you know, Marvel's always been base as fuck when it comes to killing Hitler.
Always be killing Hitler.
keeping the
even Hitler thought you should kill Hitler.
Yeah. Hitler was a very anti-Hitler guy at the very final, in his last moments.
He realized
there. Perhaps the greatest Antifa act of all time was Hitler killing Hitler for us.
I love.
Say what you will about Hitler, but only Hitler killed Hitler.
I mean, Hitler stopped the Nazis in their tracks. Russia didn't do it. U.S. didn't do it. It was mostly Russia.
We helped.
But anyway,
we helped.
There's that. That's fun times. And then here's this. Not quite as fun, but still a little bit fun.
Oh,
Politico, Capitol Police are investigating a swastika found in GOP Representative Dave Taylor's office. And then the corresponding image up top there from Peacemaker.
How the fuck did I miss that? Okay, so like all of the like conspiracy theories and like excuses about like where this flag came from and what it was, and it's just like, I don't know, man. You got a fucking Nazi American flag in your office. Maybe just.
Well, is it because the left is so obsessed with calling us Nazis or calling them Nazis that like they just everybody that don't agree with them, there's a Nazi. It's it's so, oh God, get over it. It's really messed up how you keep calling us Nazis for no reason.
Yeah.
This is actual text on the right from the leaked chat, young Republicans here.
These are literal things that were in the text leak that I believe Politico got.
But they were just joking. They were just joking, guys. They were just kids. They're just 40-year-old kids.
They're kids who are older than me.
When they were 40. Yeah,
I'm ready.
We were all
to
done
watch
when we were 40.
Burn. I'm just waiting for the humor to hit in that one, I guess. Stay in the closet, Epsler. Wow. Okay. All right. That's pretty funny, I guess. Nope. I don't see it.
I don't actually see the joke. Like, jokes are one, funny, and two, have something to laugh at. And
the joke is that because you guys are just so obsessed with calling us Nazis, we just joke about pretending to be Nazis and have Nazi views a lot all the time,
and enact Nazi policies and quote Nazis and cosplay as Nazis, and
they're taking back the N-word. That's what it is.
I hope they do. I hope they really try.
I had someone say that they were the reason that they were, they wanted to say slurs is because they believed in free speech and all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm blessed by your God. I can say all the slurs I want. Your God showers me with blessings. I can say every slur I ever want. And they asked, well, what slurs do you say? And I'm like, everyone I want. Any slur I've ever wanted to say, I've said.
Mm-hmm. And the amount is 0.
And the amount is 0.
Yeah.
Yep.
And for that, their God showers me with blessings.
You're very fortunate. Very, very, very fortunate.
I am very fortunate.
It's they're just kind of nuts-ish sometimes, maybe a little bit.
Nuts-ish. Like we said before, I think the difference between these Nazi wannabes and the actual Nazis is that the original gen Nazis fought in fucking World War I and were traumatized and willing to actually fight for things. And these people cannot put their fucking nuts on the table. So two thoughts on these. One, challenge coins are dumb. I'm just going to come out and say it. Challenge coins, they're shit. They're coins that people make to commemorate doing a thing. And I think they're stupid. But this, even for a challenge coin, is extra stupid. And every part of it is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It's fractally stupid. The more you look at it, the more stupid things you notice.
Because it's tempting it was very tempting for me to go, wait a second, that's a Punisher skull, and then you look at it and you're like, well, it's not really though. It's a bad design skull.
It's like an AI Punisher skull.
Yeah, it's trying to suggest this Punisher skull while avoiding copyright infringement.
Yeah, it's just ugly. I would be like if I were in Kash Patel's FBI, and I was given one of these, I would like choke myself to death with it. I'd swallow it.
I would give it back and go, "This is nice, but how about you pay me a fucking living wage? Thank you."
Right.
Bingo.
How about you open the government so we get paid again?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
open the Petonomicon. Yeah. I'd throw it back, right? I'd quit. I joined a more honorable criminal racket like the Pinkertons.
By the way, here's one of these young fellas that was in those group chats. It's always the pinnacle, the peak of human, physicality.
Well, do you know why they call these guys alpha males, right?
Why?
Because they're in early development. These are not release candidate males. You're not going to put this guy on the shelf to sell to customers.
I mean,
this is an early alpha male.
Now,
A lot of work has to be done still.
Morgan, I hate to break it to you, but this is what peak Aryan masculine performance looks like.
This guy is he's such a provider. He's such a masculine man that he can also breastfeed his children. And there's nothing wrong with that, guys. Nothing wrong with it. Like so.
No,
I'm normally not in favor of body shaming people, but when they are pronouncing themselves the master race or the peak masculine, whatever, we need to like point out that the emperor has no clothes.
I had a comment on one of Eric's videos lately. I forget. It was about, I have chud blindness. It's a serious medical condition that we all need to take seriously, but one of the chuds. I could not tell you which one if you put a gun to my head. Unless it was Kash Patel's dumb gun coin, then I just throw it back at you and say it was you. Why do people who use the R slur always look like people who get called the R slur?
Yeah.
I just want to like take that observation and put that out into the world.
I was reminded just now that I used to do a drop. I used to have a drop that I would do, and it's just such moments as this one. Let's put him back on here. And I just reloaded that drop for this purpose. So here we go.
Woo! Old drop, classic drop. This is the shame of the internet algorithm culture, is that this guy can have his boobs on the internet and no one's going to censor it. But if I lowered my camera like this much,
male privilege,
they demonetize Dane's channel.
Male privilege is really,
it's really male privilege.
Sucks, man. All right, here's one more thing that's kind of funny and also not good. Top U.S. Army general says he's using ChatGPT to help make key command decisions.
Oh God,
the plagiarism guessing bot.
Great.
This motherfucker is gonna be like, you know what we should do? We should put all of our troops in Australia and Siam so that way no one can invade us from the other side. Because ChatGPT is shitting out shit that people were posting about Risk in 2000 when they were losing at Risk.
There's a related to this. There's a story I just saw on Bluesky a minute ago of a professor of anatomy, I think, a medical related field, who's blowing the whistle on a textbook that the author used ChatGPT to make diagrams for, and also apparently write the text for. And the diagrams are anatomically wrong and include the names of non-existent muscles and organs.
Mm-hmm.
And this is being used in medical school.
Yep.
So we're officially in the darkest timeline now.
Right.
So I mean, it's about to get much darker with what I tell you in a moment. So we don't have time to get into this today. We maybe should separate it, have like a whole half a FAPcast or something for this. Maybe Friday. I don't know. But Grant Morrison has expressed positive thoughts on AI art.
And now I'm going to club him to death with a seal.
So I don't know.
Well, you just misgendered them, so that's a good start.
Oh, my bad. I forgot.
I didn't misgender them.
I did.
Oh.
Yeah, Morgan did. As part of clubbing them. Yeah.
No, I would club them to death before I intentionally misgendered them.
Yeah. So I haven't seen Grant Morrison's comments.
Me either.
But I do think, in principle, there is an ethical use of any technology. But that comes after the technology has been figured out and all the trade-offs have been
worked out.
All the kinks have been worked out, and society has worked out an ethical code for the use of them. Now is not that time.
I don't think there's an ethical use for like gas-powered dildos. You know,
you would be surprised what you could do with an 8 horsepower gas dildo.
Wouldn't be surprised at all, Morgan. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
But see, the gas-powered dildo is actually 2 different pieces of technology that have been combined. Like dildos have a legitimate use and an ethical use, and gas-powered things have ethical uses.
Regardless, what I'm saying is it's a dildonic device, as I call them. There's a dildonic device. But nonetheless, here's another AI thing that's really, really also funny. I guess it's kind of a common thing with this. It's hilarious. It's also fucked up. 2 people who are swimmers, avid swimmers, decided in South Wales. They're like, when is low tide? We want to go swimming during low tide. When's that? And instead of just like Googling it or looking at some weather or tide
get
app
a
or
farmer's almanac,
any number of things that they could have done and should have done, they asked ChatGPT.
So they
which
drowned.
gave them the wrong time, and they nearly drowned to death.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, some heroic people there. A restaurant owner was apparently there. Had a megaphone on him and started fucking screaming at them. Yeah, it's not. Don't do that. Don't go. And they're like, well,
yeah.
Oh.
And this is that happened because we've allowed AI companies to oversell their product to people.
Yes.
Right.
And what it's actually capable. It's really just the best description I've heard of it. And I don't know how technically accurate this is, but it was described to me as it's just a language calculator.
Yep.
Right.
That's
so,
it.
Someone let's see who is this that's talking. Whoever's in this article that's quoting says the tech has garnered a reputation for spitting out hallucinations, which in certain circumstances can have devastating consequences. While AI companies argue that the tech can rival the intelligence of PhD level academics.
No, it can plagiarize them and every so often repeat what they say. Every so often.
Tools like ChatGPT still struggle with the very basics and more often than not spit out garbled and completely made up information. And yes, the person said, I made a mistake of using it for research to see when low tide was. And it said 9:30 a.m. So we were out there on that side. And then as soon as you come back over, it was literally completely different.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do want to push back on Bob's, like, it's a language calculator. That's not entirely true. Because if you open your calculator up and you put in 2 + 2, you will always get 4.
Yeah.
If I ask ChatGPT when low tide is in a specific area at different times, it will give me different answers. If I go on June 25th, when is low tide going to be? Whatever beach you're talking about. And if I ask that today, and if I ask that tomorrow, and if I ask that the next day, you're not going to get consistent answers. It's worse than a language calculator.
Well, that's because language can't be calculated like numbers.
Language is such a loose fucking thing in concept, anyways. It makes sense, but it's what's troubling is not even
your calculator is Terrence Howard.
Yeah, it's upsetting that there's
Harrison, you're awarded 1 point. Spend it wisely.
The technology is disturbing, but then also the other disturbing part, separate from the technology, is the people that are so just willing to jump at it and use it for, whatever, and like think that it's, to varying degrees. We've seen people that have made religions out of it, which is really just kind of creating a self-created delusion for yourself.
Yeah, but it's not even Google. Like Google without AI returns better results for all of these questions than ChatGPT ever has.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's being sold to people as the next Google.
Reverse progress technology. That's the fucking truth. There's nothing.
Well,
I think we lost Dane.
Well, and so infrequent, so inconsistent. So, what's up?
You dropped out for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm back.
Welcome back.
I was saying that the positives, the few positives of it, are so small and infrequent and inconsistent that it is simply just a net is a net loss in technology advancement, I think.
Right. Well, I think what it is that like the underlying technology has a use case. The problem is that the tech sector is this like do it bigger, do it faster, do it more. And that's not how this stuff scales. The more you scale it, the less accurate it becomes. And so the bigger you make it, the less useful it gets. Except thank you. You can have it be less useful in more subjects. So you can market it to more people, but the more people you market it to, the less and less useful things it can provide. Whereas the coder who, works on these things, they're like, oh yeah, large language models do all sorts of great things. Look at, I've had it read my code and I can have it proofread my code. But then if that person hands it to another coder and she's like, oh, proofread my code, it's going to get it wrong. Because it's just the wrong tool for the job because it hasn't been trained on that data. And if you tried to add both people's coding to it, it's then going to screw up both. Because it doesn't scale well. And their solution to that was we'll just keep throwing more power into it, literally like electricity. More transistors, more CPUs.
More and more gas into the dildo.
Right. It's more and more gas in the dildo. And like, while an 8 horsepower dildo might be the most pleasurable thing you've ever felt, a 16 horsepower dildo is going to blow right through you.
Top tier meme right here.
That's a good one.
That's a sign somebody had.
Diddle me this.
It's amazing. Diddle me this. What list? You know what fucking list. Release the fucking Petanomicon.
Holy sex pest, Batman.
This one's pretty fun. Whoopsie days, liberals. I was just bending over to tie my shoelaces. You must be a dumb liberal to think I'm a Nazi. This is essentially the perfect. It's absurd, but it's perfectly illustrates their jobs in a lot of ways. Like their job is to contort themselves into these absurd positions, figuratively, to trigger people for seeing exactly what they're trying to elicit. You know what I mean?
Look,
like
this is just Matt Walsh auditioning for the role of Peacemaker in season 2. He's trying to do the dance. That's it.
Yep.
Okay, but now I want to see like the Matt Walsh as Peacemaker version of those episodes.
I think you really don't.
A little personal image to show here. This is a late birthday gift that my girlfriend Jennifer got me today or this weekend. Is a xenomorph Buddha, and it's got a little bouncy head. Its head bouncy.
It's a bobblehead too.
Yes.
That's adorable.
My question is there another xenomorph about to pop out of the Buddha belly?
Mm-hmm.
It's not polite to ask.
That's true. It's understandable to be curious, but it's not polite to ask.
Not polite to ask. Because you don't, maybe she's not pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm not pregnant. That's important to know.
Dane, I have bad news for you.
Oh no. So, and then finally, Absolute Spider-Man. No, the logo evokes Uncle Ben's coffin. Chains instead of webs. Symbiont gauntlets for harder punches. Wide frame indicates brawling style. No webbing because he's poorer than usual. That's really funny.
Oh God! Absolute.
See, this isn't really Absolute Spider-Man, not Spider-Man. Spider-Man, because his head is too big. Like
that's true.
Absolute Batman doesn't work on head day. His head's really tiny.
Batman has been catching up with it is that it dares you to think it's ridiculous looking because the story is so good. It dares you to be like, but he really looks silly, doesn't he? No, fuck you. This story's so good you don't care about it. You know.
And that's true. That's true. The story's fucking wild.
But it also makes
did we talk about who the Red Hood is in in the
Who is
Absolute
Red Hood?
Universe?
I don't think so.
What? We cover it? Okay. I forget.
who-
It's been a long week.
Is it? Who is it?
Someone who's
I
a
don't know.
doctor in the in the main DC timeline.
Oh,
A
Doctor
Doctor
Mirage? No.
Dr. Quincell.
Oh, wow.
She's the Red Hood.
Wow,
That's
wow,
an interesting
wow, wow.
choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like the Red Hoods have been set up as something like a group that Batman was relying on early on.
I need you to read Unbreakable X-Men #1. I don't know if you've checked out
need to do it.
Revelation stuff so far, but
I've checked out a little bit, but like it's been a week.
it's irrelevant to this issue. Actually, this issue it gives you everything you need to know. It is self-contained as a beginning to the story.
Sure.
Rather, it is, something else, something crazy else, but awesome.
Oh, the Bane, Absolute Bane, is the most terrifying Bane.
Yeah, he's pretty bad. The last issue I read was it seemed like he had cut off Batman's arms. I don't know if that was not really what happened.
No, that's what happened.
Okay, just making sure that I was like, that's
gets worse.
Yeah, because I mean the whole thing is he's wanting to. He sees potential in him to be another new him kind of thing, right? Like, which is weird. He's wanting to make more Bane.
So is Absolute Batman just going to have no arms now?
I mean, I imagine he's going to have some like. I mean, regular Batman has one robot hand now, so why not let Absolute have 2 robot arms?
Did any of you get a chance to check out DCKO?
Not yet, no.
Not
Okay,
yet.
I
I barely even know what it is. I've been like, none of their marketing told me what it is.
Nothing in the marketing tells you anything about it. If I hadn't watched comic channels,
DC going, you know what we need to do is we need to goose our numbers a little bit with a little hero on hero action. It doesn't really
need is a martial arts tournament from shonen manga.
Yeah,
we need to do a tournament arc. It's that.
So I'm wondering if the recent Black Canary limited series was a setup for this, because that was all about her having. It was a single story about a single martial arts match she had in the ring against a couple of different villains. Like I forget who they were, but I read the first issue and I was like, "What?" Like, because it included flashbacks of her training and stuff like that. But the central story was just her in the ring fighting a successive list of other martial arts characters, because Black Canary is considered one of the best fighters in the DC universe.
Right.
I never got to finish it because, money. But I wonder. But it was recent. It was just before DCKO, so I'm wondering if that was kind of a setup story for that. I was hoping DCKO would be like an invasion by the WCW or some wrestling universe characters, but I don't. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll get John Cena versus the Peacemaker and just have it like absolutely meta. I have no idea what they're doing. But it's wild. I don't know that it's going to be good, but it's wild. Which, like, sometimes you need a comic that is just spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. And I'm like, because I still need to know what the story is, though. Like, what would motivate all of them to have a martial arts tournament where they fight each other? Like, why?
I could give you like the brief rundown.
Does it involve Mongol?
No,
it's a dark side thing.
It's dark side.
Oh, it's always fucking dark side.
It's always, yeah. Unfortunately, like DC is like they had like 8 years of it's all the Joker or the Batman Who Laughs, who is just dumber Joker. Sorry, I know that might be a hot take for some people. It's just worse Joker. But now I'm like, okay, we're going back to dark side because that's not going to be a DC movie thing for a while. And I like dark side. I'm normally like a New Gods defender. But my brother and Kal-El, y'all got to put that down for a little bit. You all got to get off that sauce. Especially because the whole Absolute Universe is oops all dark side. Like, you got to let the main DCU just kind of chill on the dark side sauce for just a little bit.
Yeah. See, I've always felt that Darkseid is one of the least interesting villains in DC.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because there's only so many stories you can tell about a guy who wants to take over the universe and comes close every time, but they never kill him off. So
well, I mean,
he's
look,
just going to come back and do the exact same thing again.
It's pretty bad whenever you make Thanos look like he has a very robust personality. Okay.
I've always felt like Thanos is just like dime store Darkseid.
I mean, he technically is. He's the one that came next, but he does have way more pathos, and I understand Thanos' motivations. It's not just otherworldly, to a degree.
I think this is why like using Darkseid sparingly is important, because like when you go stretches between a Darkseid appearance, it makes Darkseid a big deal. When we're like, it's time for our annual Darkseid shot, it's like, oh great, it's the flu shot. It's just gonna make me feel icky for a couple of days, and then I'm gonna forget about it for a year.
And the thing too about Absolute universe as well as regular universe, it's the same Darkseid.
It's the same. Yeah, it is the same Darkseid.
It's not even a variant or anything. It's just a one guy.
It's the same asshole.
I think the best use I've seen of Darkseid in recent, like relatively recent comics was the Deceased series.
Yeah.
Which is an whole alternate, it's an Elseworlds thing, but
Deceased is fun. Tom Taylor did pretty good with those.
Yeah.
I did not think I was going to enjoy a zombie superhero story at this late day and age, but I did enjoy them. So
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Water.
That's about all I got.
My voice is about had it. I've been talking for the last 6 days straight. So
I want to go ahead and say that to anybody else that's feeling the loss of Sam Rivers, my heart's there with you. The bassist of Limp Bizkit passed away, I guess, today at 48 years old.
Oh, wow.
What?
I'm not even sure what happened. Yeah, he was young, and they were making a comeback. They're literally making a comeback right now. And
shit.
Yeah. So, I don't know. He did it all for the nookie, I guess. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
He would want infinite nookie. Yeah, I hope he has infinite nookie where he's going.
The land of Melk and Nookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob, what do you got going on? Promote something. Say something.
I just dropped a video a day or so ago, which is my reaction and analysis to the Daily Wire's Pendragon Cycle trailer. And I'm working on the next installment of the new mythology, which should be dropping at the end of next week.
Ooh.
So if you don't know what the Pendragon Cycle is, go check out my video so you don't have to give any views to the Daily Wire. And you'll learn all about what you need to know without spoilers. I think the show's probably going to flop, but
Flop City.
Yeah. Like if it were any other production company, it might have a chance and I might be excited for it. But even aside from their politics, Daily Wire is just not known as an entertainment streaming service.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to attract enough people as new subscribers just for this show to justify the cost of the show. So,
right.
Yeah.
It would be.
I go into all that in my video.
Yeah. On my end, we have registration just went live for the midwinter gaming convention here in the Milwaukee area. So if you want to play some games and are in the Milwaukee area or the Midwest around the holiday season, feel free to sign up and check it out and track me down.
Word. Yeah, we just keep in mind, by the way, that the No Kings protest yesterday was not an end point.
No, not at all. It was just the beginning.
Not think of anything as having been accomplished other than showing that people can literally do the same thing on the same day with the right intentions, and that's a good first step. But it's all it is.
And make the weirdos squirm and do dumb things.
Take pleasure, man. Like that is the reward for right now.
Yeah, it's building popular support for the resistance and making the resistance feel family friendly and fun to normies, which is what we want.
Yep. All right. Well,
all right. Yep.
With that in mind, I guess we'll check out the showcast on Wednesday. I suppose we'll probably look at some of that more of that merger that's happened. That great corporate merger between these very
synergy,
thriving entities that are all doing so well.
The synergy, it's overwhelming.
Yeah. And I suppose with that in mind, I shall add a new outro video real quick. Do this and boom, there it is.
Hit it.
Yeah. Peace. Y'all have a good one.
Praise Bill.
Like, subscribe, all those things.
It's dinner time.
It is.
Hi everyone. I'm sad. I'm depressed. I'm on antidepressants up the wazoo, literally.
I can't get off Tatum ass, bro.
Social media, I think it's reality. I'm cripplingly lonely, and I'm desperate for attention. And so I put in my bio a shitload of flags and gained other people's opinions as my own and call myself as from heel versus babyface.
Yeah. What a fucking useless sack of shit I am.